Okay. So, Mayor, I know you've been busy. You've been out of town. I don't know. Have you had a chance to see my library story?
I saw a clip of it. Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to show you some of the screen grabs from that story. What we saw in the library. We saw people using heroin outside of the library. I saw multiple drug deals around the library. This woman was shooting up just outside of the front door, and I saw that on the first day I went there. Actually, within the first hour and a half I visited the library. And then what was really astonishing was methamphetamine transactions going on outside the library, but also inside the library, right next to the teen area. So we saw that. So not only did I get this in my report, but we also found that crime stats have skyrocketed at the library. Fights, calls about drug users, drunk people have skyrocketed. Overdoses are way up at the library. What are your thoughts on this, Mayor?
You know, I've received regular briefings from the library in terms of this challenge that we're faced with. We know that in this city we have, and all over this country, we have an opiate epidemic that's taking place. There's no need to hide from it. I know your job is to create the flash story, but in reality, as mayors, as police officers, as social workers of the city, we're dealing with it every day all over the city, and we know that for some reason, well, probably the uniqueness of the library, that these individuals are attracted to the library. And so the library has done a good job in keeping me posted, and we have directed resources. If you looked at our budget over the last 2 years, we've grown the number of social workers, our peer navigators, and our behavioral health office has really become engaged, along with the police department, in trying to address the issue.
Specific, I mean, you're talking. We know there's a clear understanding. There's a large national issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a large issue, that affects all of Denver, all over the metro area. We want to know, what is the short-term plan to address crime at the library right now?
Well, our police department is already on it. The commander of the district has already moved in and providing more resources. I've already had conversations, my administration has already had conversations with the librarian about how do we increase patrols inside the library and continue to provide those services to some of the individuals who are walking in there who may be stationed or at least outside of the library, but not necessarily those who are shooting up, but are seeking services, because they have programs internally of the library that's helping them find jobs, housing, and so we've wrapped those services internally. But the goal right now is to step up patrols and attention inside the library, in and around the library as well.
We've heard from people that there is nowhere else for these folks to go, so they go to the library. Some people are blaming the so-called sweeps that are pushing people towards the library. What are your thoughts on that?
When we go in and break up encampments, it's not trying to push anybody anywhere other than to shelters. What our 24/7 outreach workers have told us, these are not the same individuals that we have seen move from riverbanks, or we have moved from riverbanks or from other encampments. We are tracking who these individuals are, so they're not necessarily the same people. Again, we have a better understanding of who these individuals are, but people love to point to our decision to say it's not compassion to say to folks you can sleep outside, that we'd rather get you into shelters. But you got to also understand that individuals who we have moved from encampments have told us directly they would prefer not to go inside, whether it's a shelter or into a hotel. They've told us directly, Jeremy. They've said in my office and told me directly. And so while we are being blamed for breaking up encampments, we have at some nights 200, 300 beds available for individuals in our shelters and our hotels, and they refuse to go in. So as a city, we're doing everything we can to provide safe roof over individuals, shelter for individuals in our city. But again, people have to make that decision to move in.
It's certainly a tough, challenging circumstance to deal with, Mayor. Is it fair, though, that librarians are having to deal with this?
Libraries are a very unique space. They're open to everyone. The whole society is dealing with this issue. People feel safe at the library. Again, services are in the libraries. We have social workers that are working hard to build relationships with the individuals who are coming in. The reality is that this situation of behavioral health challenges and drug addictions in our city is exactly why we made the announcement we made this morning. It's not fair to anyone, to any of us, including those who are sick with these addictions and behavioral health challenges, that we have to deal with it. As a nation, as a society, we got to get better at addressing it.
Yeah, we've received hundreds of comments regarding our story. People are very upset. They're very sympathetic to the homeless population. I dropped off some comments at your office. I don't know. I know you've been busy. Have you had a chance to go through any?
I haven't been in the office yet.
Okay. Can I read some of the comments that we got from viewers? And this won't take long. And then we're almost done here. These are human beings, and they deserve our love and compassion. The problems they are experiencing are caused by illegal homeless sweeps. We love the library, which is why it pains me that I have asked her to no longer take our library-loving kids to the Central Branch. I am incredibly concerned about their staff describing in multiple media interviews over the past week that the library is a de facto day shelter because it is not. Libraries, like schools, should be a no drug safe zone. It's bad enough public parks are known for drug and other illegal activity. Now there are 2 places that hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens will not want to go. And then one more, Mayor. The downtown library used to be a wonderful place. I've been in Colorado for 40 years. Now, however, it's a place that is toxic. People who are obviously drunk or high shouldn't be allowed in, period. What's your reaction to some of those
My reaction
comments?
is yes, all of society, including your viewers, my constituents. I'm upset, my staff's upset, the library staff's upset, should be upset with this challenge that we are dealing with in this city. Let me give you another scenario. As a city, we just invested in partnership with the Denver Rescue Mission $7 million to build a day rest or a shelter or program for the homeless. Instead of being at the library, these individuals have the community, the Lawrence Street Center to go to, where they could enjoy them. You know, they can rest in dignity, they can get a meal, they can take a shower. These individuals that you're dealing with, that you're talking about, are sick. Understand me, you got them on film, they're sick. And as a society, we've got to find a way to help them, and we're trying to do that. And it's not just the city, it's the state, it's the federal government. Deinstitutionalizing behavioral health has been the crux of this problem, and cities are being faced with this issue every day today. Okay. And so not just Mayor Hancock, but Mayor Southers is dealing with it in Colorado Springs, Mayor Hogan's dealing with it in Colorado, in Aurora, Mayor Paul's dealing with it in Lakewood. We recognize that we are having to address this issue. We're dealing with very sick individuals. So me building $6 million Lawrence Street Center is not going to bring them in. They're there because of their addiction, and we got to find a way as a society to deal with it. So absolutely, your readers should be upset. Okay. I'm upset. I'm very uncomfortable with it. Yeah. But we're going to keep trying. We're not going to stop. And I appreciate your story, but your story is a story we're dealing with every day, and we're trying to find a way to help these individuals, and that's why, if you look at the resources we're allocating, is to get to the heart of this.
Okay. One last question, then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
What do you say to parents who saw our story and
yeah.
they're going to say, I'm not going to go down there.
Right.
I'm not going to take my kids down there because of what I see.
Jeremy, I don't blame them. If my children were small and still going in and out of that library, I wouldn't want to take them down there either. I certainly get it. But our job is to fix it, and that's what we're trying to do. We've been doing it before you ran your story, and that's why we've been trying to, we're getting our peer navigators and our social workers in there. That's why we're trying to find housing. That's why we're trying to get places where people can rest and not be at the library. So we're not going to stop our journey in trying to deal with this issue. Yeah. Your story certainly, I think, illuminates the challenge that we've been trying to do, but our game plan is to get in there.
How soon can we see an improvement there at the library then?
Well, as soon as we can convince people that there are better opportunities for them than to be around there. But again, we're dealing with very sick people. Okay,
great. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate your time. Good travels. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much, Mayor.